What's up, y'all? It's 2012, and I just jumped off the porch with Dirty Glove Bastard.
I got you locked in. I got you locked in. I got you locked in. Now tell me what's the pay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We right back at it, y'all. We got 2012 jumping off the porch with us today. What's up with it? How you feeling?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great. No complaints this way.
Yeah.
Yo, it's definitely a pleasure to have you pull up on us and jump off the porch.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. I'm trying to figure out where I'm gonna put my name now.
Nah, for sure. I mean, the porch is tattooed up.
Yeah.
It's tatted up, you know, for real. It's crazy because, you know, when we first started getting these signatures on the porch, and you know, I just remember being able to actually identify people's names, and now I just can't even find people's names anymore.
That's good though. Like that's really dope.
Yeah, nah, it's amazing. And like I was telling you before the interview, you know, this is truly, you know, for people like yourself to be able to share your story and control the narrative of your story and not, you know, be told in other ways. So
Yes.
yeah.
No, I appreciate that.
No, that's what's up. So first of all, you know, your name is very interesting. It's spelled interesting. I would have never known to actually pronounce it that way. So can you tell us where that comes from?
Yeah. So 2012, it's a story. It's my journey, really. I'm 20. I turned 20 this year, earlier January, and that's where the 20 comes from. But the 12, which is in Roman numeral, it stems from the start, in which the age that I really started in this industry. I was starting off in girl groups at like 9 years old, and we trained for some years, and then we put out like our first video, our first cover at 12 years old. So that was like the age that it all kind of just started for me. And this year I went through a lot. So when I was doing my rebrand with my team, the age in which I started, in which I almost ended, honestly, my career, meant a lot to me, so we put the two together.
Yeah. Nah, for sure. Nah, that's cool. So where are you from? Because I know I know that you mentioned like some girl groups and things like that you worked with here in Atlanta.
Yes, I'm from Atlanta.
Okay.
I'm from Atlanta.
A true Georgia peach.
I am a true Georgia peach. Yes. Yeah, but that was all out here, and it wasn't until last year I moved out to LA.
Okay.
Yeah, just to get a different vibe, a different feel, and just start over.
Okay, word. And what part of Atlanta? What side?
I'm from Smyrna, from Cobb County.
Okay, word. Ain't
Everyone be like, they'd be dissing anything that's not like, you know.
Right. Yeah,
Right.
if you ain't in that metro, you know, you're not from Atlanta.
Right.
Shout out to Alpharetta, but nah, that's what's up though. And what would you say, you know, from your experience living in LA for a little while? What would you say was, you know, what were some of the biggest differences that you saw from LA to Atlanta living?
Some of the biggest differences that I saw moving from Atlanta to LA was definitely like environment, and then people. Like everybody out here, I feel like growing up here is like very straightforward. If somebody don't like you out here, you're gonna feel the energy, you're gonna know. Out in LA, they will smile straight in your face, and like you will never know until like they're talking about you behind your back.
Yeah.
So it was really just a matter of like standing my ground more and just like peeping stuff and staying clear of things. You really do have to know yourself when you move out there, and like stay true to who you are. So that was like something that, getting my feet in the ground out there, it was just like, okay, I'm peeping the vibes, and I need to just stay to myself and just keep working. So.
Yeah. No, for sure. It's really easy to get caught up, and it's so about, you know, what can you do for me and what can you provide? And so many people go out there with that mindset and will almost fall for anything, you know, being, you know, moving with like an opportunist mindset.
Yes. Yeah.
What were some of like your favorite, you know, parts of LA or your experience out there?
My favorite parts so far, there's a lot of really good parts. It's very diverse out in LA, so that's what I do appreciate. It's very inspiring. I get a lot of my inspiration, like when I'm writing, from just living and experiencing and hanging out. So for it to be so diverse out there, that's like my favorite part. It's like anybody and everybody can come together, so that's something I enjoy and appreciate.
Right. No, most definitely. And have you always been into music? I know you say you started at 12, so
Yeah.
like, was music just something that was always in the household?
It was. Oh my gosh, my dad is a quartet singer, so he grew up in like these quartet gospel groups, and I would be in church with him, and he'd like be in these rehearsals and stuff. So it was constantly in my household. Like my dad is constantly singing till this day. So that was something that immediately I was like always around it. And my mom, she was always playing like old school music. So Stevie Wonder is actually like my favorite artist all time, hands down. So it was definitely like something where it's like I have an old soul and a different ear and approach to music. I appreciate everything that came before me. So when I'm making and I'm creating, I always go back to that.
Yeah, no, for sure. Because to be 20 and talking about Stevie Wonder, you know, I mean.
Which I just saw him perform for the very first time at the Usher concert.
That's amazing.
Oh my gosh, that was like incredible.
Yeah. Nah, that's amazing because, you know, like, I mean, unfortunately, you know, we've been losing like so many people at a rapid pace lately. A lot of, you know, like our favorite stars of yesteryear, whether it be from music, film, you know, television, things like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, it just gives you so much of a greater appreciation of these people and their art, and to be able to experience it in person. Like I remember, you know, being able to see Prince live, you know, for the first time, and I actually got to see him in Minneapolis.
Wow.
And that was just such a dope experience. And of course, you know, during the time, you don't know how big of a deal that is, or at least I know I didn't appreciate it that much at the time, you know. But then later on, it's like, wait a minute, like I really witnessed history. Like I was really a part of that.
Like I won't be able to do that. Like that's like, yeah, no, that's dope.
No, for sure, for sure. So when would you say you jumped off the porch? And meaning, you know, when did you first step out to establish independence on your own, you know?
Yeah, when I first stepped out, honestly, I feel like I was in 7th grade, and I was already in the girl group called Pink Heart. We would do covers and stuff, and it got to the point where I wasn't even in school as much. Like I would have to get pulled because I had to go do an audition, or I would have to like go to rehearsals or go to a performance or something. So at like 13, or I was actually 12, I was like, I need to leave public school in order to like pursue my career. So I missed out on like prom, I missed out on like actual graduation, I missed out on all of that. And I knew I was going to miss out on that, but I was just so inspired by the music and everything I'd been doing at such a young age. I was like, I just wasn't thinking about the sacrifice that I was making. So I would say 12, actually, yeah.
And how did you know at such a young age that you were willing to make so many sacrifices, or that you really wanted to do music full time, that this is what you wanted to, you know, make your life?
I feel like I knew when I was in public school and it was like, okay, what do you want to do for a career? And we had like 4 options. And I was like, every day when I leave school, I go home, I'm doing my homework, and then I go straight to like creating. Like it was like I would go to the fireplace and I would just start freestyling to the point where my mom would be like, girl, shut up. So it was like no option for me. Like that was the only choice I felt.
Right. And do you remember the first time that you knew that it was time to really take it professionally? Like the first, I guess, like maybe like feedback that you had gotten, you know, in a moment where you knew like, okay, this is really it for me. Like it's time.
Oh my gosh. Probably when I was like 8 years old. My mom put me into a performing arts camp called AGI, and I was training to sing, dance, act. It was like triple threat, and every Friday they would have these showcases, and I would have to like perform a monologue or perform a song or something, and we would be sitting in front of these agents. And so we would get feedback like after the agents would leave, and each week hearing feedback of my growth. I was so shy when I first started, and I still kind of am a little reserved at times, but hearing my growth and the feedback from that at such a young age, it made me just push myself more. And I've always been very like go-getter, like a little competitive, but not with other people, more so like with myself. So I'm like, oh, I just want to go harder. I mean, like, this is what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So.
Wow, that's what's up. And your parents have always been supportive, obviously, from the beginning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very
and
thankful.
how important is that, for you or for anyone pursuing, their dream and, needing that support from their parents? And I mean, because a lot of times when we're trying to pursue our dreams, our parents, are more looking at things more from an analytical standpoint, get your education, get this 4-year degree, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Why were your parents so open to even being willing to, allow you to, do school in a different way to pursue your dream?
I feel both my parents were extremely open to the idea of me pursuing my dreams at such a young age, because my father was always into music. That was always something he did. It was just gospel, quartet. And my parents are very like it's always like a happy feeling, joyful feeling when being around them. We're always laughing and smiling or listening to music together. So even in my family in general, outside of my mom and dad, it was just always that in the household. And with my mother, she won't tell you, but she was in a girl group, child, when she was like a teenager. So I feel like she just sees, both of my parents, I think they just see bits of themselves in me, and like they were just like, we're here for you, which I am still very appreciative of.
For sure. And you mentioned your dad starting out in the church. Was that a place where you started out as well, singing? Did you sing in the church? Was that a part of your lifestyle? Or?
I did not.
Okay.
I was way too shy to even go up, and everything I did was at home or in my room. I was writing songs in like 2nd grade in my little notebook, but I would never share with anyone.
Gotcha.
It would just be at home.
Yeah, because it's interesting. I saw, I forgot who it was, but I just saw somebody who was critiquing like this day's R&B, and they were saying that there isn't as much soul in it nowadays because so many people aren't, growing up in the church and aren't getting, like, I guess their early lessons like from that, from that place.
No, most definitely. I would agree with Jermaine with what he said, and that I give a lot of respect to that, because you hear the difference. And I wouldn't consider myself just an R&B singer, because I feel that I'm just very fluid when it comes to genres, and I don't really, not the people who just sing a certain genre limiting themselves, but for me, I just like to play around and have fun. But I do agree in the fact that a lot of the soulful singers do usually, like, they grew up in the church, singing in the church. When you're singing a song about God, you have to have that feeling. So naturally, when you're singing anything else, you're gonna have that feeling. So I do agree with that. Yeah. For me personally, though, like, I just like to make feel-good music, and that can be any genre.
Yeah.
So.
No, for sure. And I hear so many more artists nowadays not wanting to necessarily be locked in to a genre and wanting to be free to just be creative and, make what they make. Do you feel that, not having boundaries when it comes to making the music, does that allow you to just open up even more creatively? And
it does. I don't ever limit myself, whether there's other writers I'm working with or other opinions, or I don't really be caring too much when people have stuff to say about my creations. I feel like as an artist, you genuinely just create. You create what feels good to you. If you hear back stuff, then it's okay, you keep it pushing, but don't internalize anything too much, or that's gonna destroy your creativity as an artist. But I'm very open to things, and I like to explore and try new things, but I still know what's me and what feels like me, so.
Yeah. I know we mentioned Stevie Wonder earlier, but who are some other artists that influence you and that you grew up listening to and even listen to today?
Oh my gosh, from Anita Baker, like you said, Prince. I've been playing his first album over and over and over. I don't know what it is. It almost is it made me realize Steve Lacy, he's a newer, but their sounds are so in sync. So just hearing the inspiration from the older artists, really. I listen to a lot of older artists, And then underrated, I guess people would say, like underground, a lot of artists, a lot of people might not know about. Just listen, like on Spotify, you'll find so many dope artists that not everyone knows.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it's very diverse.
Nah, that's what's up. Are there any artists or any producers that you aspire to work with?
Oh my gosh, yes, Timbaland. I was on his live, and there's so many I can't even think, but I was just on his live, and I played like 3 of my songs for him, my new single, Locked In, featuring Destin Laurel. Stream it everywhere. But, and I played my other single, Think About Me, which is a little more like R&B-ish kind of,
sure.
But his feedback, he was just like, man, you're dope. So I was like, I mean, I've always dreamed from hearing the stuff with Aaliyah and Missy Elliott, like he is just so amazing, like definitely.
Right, no, that's what's up. And your single "Think About Me" has gotten a lot of great feedback. I think over 500,000 views on YouTube, and is doing very well.
Yes.
Do you remember the vibe that you were in when you recorded that? Like, how did that song come about?
Oh my gosh, I was out here in Atlanta, and I was in the studio with Faro Jaro, him, Logic, and we were going over just we were making things from scratch actually. And then Faro, he said he had a production, a beat that he wanted me to listen to. And so I was like, okay, bet. And as soon as I heard it, instantly I was like, we have to do something like right now. So I got to writing and we laid it down, and yeah, like that was, I just knew my team, we listened to it and we were like, yeah, this is like the first single for 2012.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Nah, that's what's up. And was the feedback, like, was it an immediate response when you released it, or, you know, how did that go about?
It was like an immediate response, but also kind of like each week it was like just more love and attention given to it, which I appreciated so much, being that I did a whole rebrand and it all kind of happened so fast. I wasn't expecting all of that love, which I appreciate from everyone who was supportive of me, but yeah, it was kind of surreal for me.
Yeah, it was really dope visual too. Did you shoot that in LA?
I did.
Okay,
Shout out to Malik Baker.
All right, that's what's up. And your new single, Locked In,
Yes.
is definitely a totally different vibe from the first single. So can you speak to that?
Yeah, Locked In, man, again, I was in Atlanta, and I knew for a fact Destin Laurel, he is so super dope, homeboy, and so I hit him up and I was like, I don't even know what the song is yet, I don't have a track, I don't have an idea, all I know is I want you to be on this song. And he was like, yeah, I got you. So I appreciate him for that, because I spent like a week in Atlanta. I flew out, we went to the studio the next day, we like laid down something and we were like, we feel like we can go back again. So a couple days later, like I got a videographer without even knowing what I was going to record the video to. We got in the studio 2 nights before the video was shot, and we laid down Locked In with Faro Jaro and him, Logic, who produced it. And it immediately was just like, I wanted it to be fun. I wanted it to be simple.
Yeah.
So it was like, I got you locked in, I got you locked in. It's very repetitive, but it's like, it's gonna stay in your head. So that's the point. And we filmed the video, and then I flew back. It all happened so fast, but I appreciate everybody.
Yeah.
It was last minute.
And with gaining so much great response from Think About Me, was there any hesitance to come with your follow-up single with having such a different sound?
No, actually. I feel like I do a good job at, because I started so young, I started off doing pop and also rapping. I started off rapping, not really singing. So when doing Locked In, it being more of a rap kind of talking thing, I was just like, man, I'm just going for it. Like, I've been doing this, so.
All right, now that's what's up. And speaking of being locked in, I saw that you opened up for Keyshia Cole, but then you had to do your rehearsal like over Zoom or FaceTime.
Yes, I had 2 rehearsals, and the first one I went to the studio and I learned everything, and then the second rehearsal, I didn't have time to go there because LA traffic is crazy.
LA traffic
crazy, and I live closer to the airport, so I was like, I would be going out the way, and then I might I might not be able to catch this flight.
Right.
So they were like, let's just do Zoom, which I've never done a Zoom rehearsal before. So I was a little skeptical, but we made it work. We did it, and I was in my heels and so in my bonnet, and I was just very transparent, like, okay, I have to go from here straight to the airport. So that's how that happened.
Nah, that's what's up. And you know, when you find yourself in that position, you know, like having to think quick on your feet and, you know, do things unconventional. I mean, most of the time it's scary in the process of actually doing it, but a lot of times, like, you find that the outcome is greater a lot of times for some reason, even though it might not have been as buttoned up or as on point, you know, as we may want it to be.
Yeah.
You know?
No, yeah.
So it's interesting how stuff works like that.
Yeah, definitely. I learned to not be so hard on myself.
Yeah.
Like, I can't expect perfection all the
For
time.
sure,
So, yeah.
for sure. What would you say is one of the biggest life lessons that you've learned thus far?
Probably that. Me being, I don't know if you're into zodiacs, but me being a Capricorn.
Okay.
I'm
a Virgo, the best sign.
Okay,
but I'll
see,
let
yeah,
you-
we're like neck and neck when it comes to like, you know, just being prepared and like every little detail matters.
Absolutely.
So that's how I am, and it's always been like that for me. But I think being in this industry at such a young age and having that mentality was kind of like hard. It was definitely difficult because being so young, you're supposed to be a little more free, a little more open, whereas I was super duper hard on myself. So just getting older, learning that the only way I'm gonna grow is if I just let it go.
Yeah.
So that was definitely something I had to push myself on.
If you were speaking to a young person who's, you know, looking to pursue, you know, some of the same dreams, you know, that you have and follow maybe in your footsteps, would you recommend for them to, you know, dedicate their life as much as you did early on, you know, and take, you know, some of the same path?
I would definitely say if it's truly what you want, go for it. It doesn't matter what age you are. Don't feel like that can, you know, that's going to stop you. You can start as young, you can start as old as you need to. If this is truly something you want to do, whatever it is, then you put your all into it. So that's what I would say.
Yeah, no, for sure. What's some advice that you would, you know, give some folks that are, you know, and I'm gonna say young people, because I mean, you started so young and, you know, have done something and are continuing to do and grow and build, but doing something that a lot of people aspire to do but are scared to do, or, you know, might not know how to tell their parents, or their parents don't know how to get them like even involved, you know, in the arts, you know, this early like that. But what type of advice would you give to someone just trying to get into the industry, looking to, you know, pursue their dream?
I would definitely say some advice if you're starting off young to get into this industry. Well, I would first tell you to know yourself before. Things can get really shaky when you're growing up in this industry and you're learning yourself as you go. That makes it harder to stay grounded, so have that. But I would definitely just say to do your research and staying true to yourself, but doing your research and just staying consistent in that. When I feel like when your parents see a consistency in you, it's like, okay, I can't stop this. Like, this is something like the inevitable. Like, they're gonna do this regardless whether I'm here or not. And even if you feel like there's not support behind you, I still say believe in yourself, because there will be moments where you feel like you're not really being supported. And if you have the right people around you, that's good. But if you don't, you believe in yourself and you keep it pushing.
Yeah,
So.
no, for sure. You have some beautiful natural hair.
Thank you.
Want to definitely give you a compliment on that. But you know, we're in a world where, you know, a lot of black women aren't comfortable with wearing their natural hair. How important is it for you to, you know, just, you know, to rock your natural look and to, you know, just be able to express yourself, you know, in your way?
Oh my gosh. It was honestly like a journey. When I was 14, I cut my natural hair because I was learning about like heat damage. And so I cut it and my mom came home and she was like, girl, what did you do? And I was just wearing braids and stuff. I did get into a part of my life as a teenager where I was wearing wigs all the time. And it was mainly just because I didn't feel like doing my hair.
Right.
But last year, I stopped wearing wigs, and when I stopped wearing that wig, I never put one on again. I couldn't. It was like freeing, and it was just a journey for myself that I realized I was more confident with my natural hair, and I was more comfortable with my natural hair, which is, you know, it's different for everyone.
Right.
So that was for me, but it also made me realize little girls that look like me, or little girls who can relate to me, see me and go, okay, I can do that.
For sure.
So I feel like it's not just for me, but for the people who are, you know, watching me.
Yeah, no, for sure. Because you're inspiring so many people,
Yeah.
whether you know it or not, you know, in
Right.
every, you know, thing that you're doing. So
Exactly. I'm always making sure, like, okay, what I'm putting out, like the little girls who are looking at me, the little, you know, anyone who's watching
Yeah.
might be inspired by this. So let me make sure I'm good.
No, for sure. So I like to do something that I call the manifestation hour, and I basically want to give you the opportunity to be able to manifest some things that, you know, you see for yourself happening, and some things that you want, you know, to happen, whether it's in life or your career.
Okay. I want to manifest within like a time span, are we saying, or just in general?
Just in general.
I want to manifest, I'm going to be on tour. I want to perform overseas so bad, which will be happening. The love and support just from people overseas be so genuine and just so like, it's just crazy. It's a little different, I'm not going to lie to you. So going on tour, a headline tour, my own tour, and overseas, a #1 song on Billboard, that's like, I just see, yeah, just performing for almost like Bob Marley. Like his music was just so loved everywhere, and it wasn't like, it just brought everyone together. That's what I want. I just want to keep bringing people together and spreading love.
All right. That's what's up. What would you say you want your legacy to be? Like, what are you know, and what type of message are you trying to, you know, maybe not legacy, maybe not getting that deep, but in terms of just your message and what you're putting out there, what do you want people to, you know, get from the art that you're sharing with the world?
Honestly, for my art, I just want people to feel good. I might make a song that might be a little deeper. I might make a song that might just, you're not really listening to the words so much, you just want to feel good. So at the end of the day, I feel like whatever it is, I want people to feel. I feel like especially with this generation, a lot of things can just go over people's heads. So it gets with social media, it can be depressing at times. You find yourself trying to just be somebody else, and it's just not good. So music, I feel like, is an escape from that, which I'll always appreciate. So that's what I want my music to be. I want it to just be like, when you hear 2012, you either feel good or you're like, I relate to this. This is like, you know, I'm in my feelings now, or, you know, whatever, but just that.
Okay. Word. And I saw you on a lot of red carpets while you were out there in LA. Are you into acting yourself?
I am.
Okay.
I haven't been in anything yet. I will be. I'll say that for the manifestation.
Absolutely.
But I do love acting, actually. I was doing that before music.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what's up. And what else are you working on? What else you got coming up?
I have another single that is on the way soon, and then I'm working on an EP. So yeah.
Okay.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Any titles? Anything you can share?
Only thing I'm gonna say, 2012, which is 20X, double I. A lot of people get confused when they see it, but I am just like, because I'm so diverse and a little unpredictable at times, I'm inspired by things that are very intricate and just kind of like organized chaos. Almost like when you're looking at stars and stuff, it's like you appreciate every star, but each one shines differently or sparkles differently. So for my music, that's what you'll be expecting from my EP. It's like you're gonna appreciate the project, but each song will be different completely.
All right, that's what's up. And you got any shout outs that you want to give?
Yes, shout out to Rob over here, my manager. Shout out to my team that is all over the US. And shout out to my mama, my family, shout out to God, and everyone just who supports me, all my 20s out there. Thank you for having me too.
Hey, nah, that's what's up. Appreciate you jumping off the porch with us.
Yeah,
Come
thank
back
you.
and rock with us anytime.
For sure.
I got you locked in. I got you locked